If you're like thousands of our fans of these behind-the-scenes video tours from the Lake Superior Railroad Museum at the St. Louis County Depot in Duluth, you opened up your computer this morning and there was a notification that a brand new one had dropped, and this is it. That's because you subscribed, and we appreciate it. If you are just finding us, you can subscribe, and then you'll never miss an episode. Like them, share them, subscribe to them, and be a part of the Lake Superior Railroad Museum's outreach program through these behind-the-scenes video tours. Thank you for joining us today. You know, we always talk about the big locomotives, right? The big machines that moved and built the railroads of America. But today, I think we want to talk about something a little smaller. This is the Minnetonka, and it is smaller, but I was thinking of something even smaller than this. No, not that small. Wow. Yeah, this is about the right size. It's a motor car. Now, normally when you think of motor cars, you think of Detroit and the big three, Ford, Chevy, and General Motors. Wisconsin had a motor car company in Kenosha. It was the American Motor Car Company, and they made the Gremlin, which is easily the ugliest car ever. Looks like they wanted to make a, station wagon and then ran out of metal. In Athens, Ohio, they made the King Midget. Made 5,000 of them, 1 horsepower motor. No, the motor car we're going to talk about was made in Fairmont, Minnesota by the Fairmont Motor Car Company, which was founded in 1909. They made putt-putts, they made speeders, they made jiggers, and pop cars, the maintenance of way vehicles that the railroads used to transport their work crews from location to location to location. Now, of course, we did a complete series of all the different ways that you could move workers on the railroad around, starting with the hand car and ending up with speeders like this one here from the Fairmont Motor Car Company. And we're going to put a link to that video at the end of this one so you can watch all of them. But this particular model, the AB-C, wasn't in that original series because it was out in our shop getting restored. And now that work is done, it's on display at the Lake Superior Railroad Museum at the St. Louis County Depot, and it's in complete running and working order. So we thought we'd do a special on it today. Let's go inside and I'll show you what she's like. Fairmont Motor Company made this, and it's an AB-C model, and it's used for transporting railroad crews. It's one of their biggest models ever built. They built this particular one in this series between 1963 and 1985. By 1985, a subsequent company had taken over Fairmont Motor Company and was made by a subsidiary of theirs. We really don't know exactly when this particular model was built, but it was one of 395 of this series that carries the Fairmont Motor Company name. These were very big machines, and as you can see, you can get a lot of people in here. They claim 14 people could be in this car. I find that hard to believe, but it made good advertising at the time. The other thing about it is its length, 147 inches long, and weighs 2¼ tons. So this isn't one of those little track mobiles that a couple of guys pick up and move to the side. No, this was on the rails for keeps. It did move around a lot. It's powered by a Ford 6-cylinder flathead motor, and it has a 4-speed heavy-duty transmission, or as we would say, it's got 4 on the floor. These were very popular because it also had block manifold heating, which meant that in the winter, you could get around quite well and still stay warm if the doors were closed. And as I said, they claim it carried 14 people, but I don't know about that. When we rebuilt it, though, we tricked it out because we wanted this thing to really be fun. So instead of having room for 14 people, we put in a bucket seat for the rider driver. And then, of course, other people can sit here and go along for the ride. We also put a big, shiny horn on it with an air compressor so people can hear us coming down the track and see us. This is fully operational. We've had it out several times. It's a lot of fun to ride in. But like all speeders, with no suspension, you feel every joint on a jointed rail track, let me tell you that. Now, where did we get this from? Well, this came from the Reserve Mining Company up in Silver Bay on Minnesota's glorious North Shore. Now, the Reserve Mining Company started mining taconite in 1955, and they needed these. They had 2 of them, both donated to the museum, because they have a 47-mile railroad from their mine, which is at Babbitt, to their processing plant, which is on the shore of Lake Superior at Silver Bay. That 47-mile railroad needed maintenance, so they needed maintenance of way equipment, such as this Fairmont speeder, and that's why they had 2 of them. As I said, both donated to Lake Superior Railroad Museum, because now these are all replaced, of course, by high rail trucks. Interesting, Reserve Mining Company. That's now North Shore Mining, and it's owned by Cleveland Cliffs. But it started as Reserve Mining Company. Kind of a strange name, don't you think? In the 1800s, they knew there was iron ore all over northeastern Minnesota, some better quality than others. They had found the deposit of taconite, which is a very low-grade iron ore. It's not hematite. It's a lower grade. There's iron ore in it, but you got to mine a lot of rock to get at it. But several mining companies got together and said, you know, someday the natural ore is going to run out, and we're going to need this taconite. So they bought up thousands and thousands of acres that later became the Peter Mitchell mine in Babbitt. The interesting thing is they weren't going to use it for many, many years. So they just referred to it on their books as, oh, that piece of land? Oh, that's the reserve. So when it came time to mine it with a new process to process taconite into taconite that you could use in a blast furnace, in steel, well, they just called it what it was, Reserve Mining Company. And this is what this has been, another behind-the-scenes tour here at the Lake Superior Railroad Museum. Thank you for watching. As I said at the very beginning, you can help us out a lot by subscribing, sharing, and of course, as always, taking care of each other.